So folks, welcome to my midweek build. And by midweek I mean start of the week I suppose, but midweek is supposed to be weekend. We are just sort of picking up on a build that didn't make the cut for Friday night's live stream, so I had put a few suggestions out on a wee poll on my channel and to give people sort of the option of what they'd like to see me build on my Friday night stream. And well, Indiana Jones ended up being the winner. It was an Indiana Jones car chase set or plane chase, whatever. That seemed to be the set that resonated most with people. However, this is the set that I had kind of wanted to build. So it's this little arcade machine, the set number 40805. And I was surprised actually. I thought this would have been the top choice, but apparently there are a lot of Indiana Jones fans in the channel. So I've kept this one out anyway, and I've decided to build it today. So this is obviously going to be another little set that's going to accompany our little friend here, our scaled up minifigure. I'm just getting him around looking at you there. He's now got his little travel suitcase as well, so he's ready for his travels. And then I just thought we'd get him a wee arcade machine as well, then to keep him fully entertained. So I'll just get the box opened up here anyway. There's one of the thumb tab boxes, but Mr. Cash Buy says hello. Hey man, how you doing? Yeah, it's one of the thumb press boxes, but anyone that's been on any of my streams in the past will know that hey Balsamic Bricks, how you doing? Good to see you, man. Yeah, I like to preserve my boxes as much as possible, so I try to open these without pressing them. I'm not sure how much work that or not, but that's how I do things. It just means that if I do want to keep the box, then I have the option, or it'll be in decent condition, whereas if I decide to get rid of it, then it's not like it's taking me that much time and effort to get into this in a tidy manner. There we go. So, to reiterate, today's build is set number 40805. It is the arcade machine. Just before I tip the contents down, so that's how the arcade machine looks then, sort of on the exterior. It is quite literally a brick built arcade machine. Non-functional obviously, but it has some cool stickers on there sort of representing the game in some description. However, there is also hinge bricks on it, and it opens up to show this little den with this little minifigure. Clearly a big gamer is hanging out with various arcade machines and computers and consoles, and then there's some Lego sets and other bits of memorabilia and stuff on the walls. I don't know how well you can see that there, but that's the interior of it anyway. So it's a lot more than just an arcade machine. But we'll crack into it anyway and see in a bit more detail once we get it built. So it's 468 pieces, so it's not huge. Comes with one instruction manual and one sticker sheet. The sticker sheet has 14 stickers in total. There we go. Some quite significant, some a lot smaller, and they're all really for, that would also suggest that we've got some very unique and cool printed pieces in this, so we'll come to them anyway. But yeah, a lot of the stickers rather are just for detailing. That's like TV screens and sort of bits and pieces on the wall and so forth. So, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bags in total. So we'll pop the bags that we don't need for now over to this side. Bag number 2. And we'll crack open bag number 1 then. All paper bags as well, so most of the sets in the UK are actually coming from sort of European distribution, and they're very much we sort of moved over to the paper bags, which is obviously really good. Alright, so inside bag one, we have just one more mini bag, and it looks like we have our mini figure rather straight off as well, so we can get the mini figure built and I'll let you have a wee look at him. I think he's fairly standard, nothing sort of unique or interesting about his prints, but these are reasonably well put together minifigure anyway. So crack the lid and start some manual open then, presumably starting off with the figure. And a mirror. I'll just build the mirror very quickly and then I'll let you have a look at them. So hey 810, how are you? Thanks for dropping in. Good to see you. Hope you hang around long enough to see the build. If not, thanks for stopping by Alpha. So yeah, first up we have the minifigure then. Like I said, he's not the most exciting, but you know, it's a reasonable representation of a minifigure. It's just the sort of normal blue legs. One of the more standard sort of orangey, gingery hair pieces. A little hoodie with a t-shirt on, and then a little stubbly face with a bit of a, you know, eyebrow raised face on him. So clearly concentrating very hard on whatever game it is he's playing. There we go. So that's the figure there. Then you can see nothing terribly exciting. A wee bit of printing on the back of the hoodie, just the hood there, and a bit of creasing. So that's that. My cat is meowing in the background. I don't know what is wrong with him. It's been an utterly dreadful day here so far. It has absolutely poured down all day. There's a wee bit of a reprieve at the minute, but it's still quite windy, and I think he wants to go outside, but he's not overly amused at the idea of the wind. So if you hear a cat meowing, I'm not being unkind, he just doesn't know what he wants. I suspect he could wander in here at any point as well, so you can keep an eye out for my catty well. Well, how's everybody else doing today anyway then? Start of another week. Hope everybody's doing good. I actually deliberated about what to build today. My gut feeling was it was always going to be this particular set, however, I kind of wanted to start something a little bit bigger. My reservation being, well, number one, a lot of my sets are in my garage, which is in a separate part of the, well, which is separate from the house. And I would have had to have gone outside to get it, and it's chucking it down, and I didn't really want to be carrying the set back across in the room. So that was problem number one. Number two, maybe sort of spoke about this previously. I expect some more concrete details to come out soon, but I have a collaborative live stream coming up shortly with another YouTuber, Eiffel Bricks, and we are going to be building together, and we're going to be building the Krusty Burger. So I kind of expect that that'll probably take us a few sessions to do. We're going to build it on Friday night. We're going to start it on Friday night, all being well, and you know, that'll obviously carry on over time, but I don't really want to start into a big build now, because I kind of like to build one step at a time, and my fear is that I'll be sort of caught up on sort of building the quickie mark for a little while, and yeah, I'm just not a huge fan, like I said, of building multiple sets at the same time. So I kind of would rather start something now that I know I'm going to be able to complete, which is why I went for a slightly smaller set. But I have another train station sort of in my inventory called Studgate. It's from the Bricklink designer program, one of the earlier series of it. And anyone that has watched any of my streams up to now will probably have noticed that I have built a good bit of sort of train focused stuff. So we built a previous station, and the reason for that really being that the other track is going to be, once I get sort of around to properly building that out, railway track is going to be the central feature. So, you know, in order to sort of help me build up that infrastructure a bit quicker, I thought it'd be a good idea to to build a couple of the sort of train related buildings in my inventory. So I built like an engine shed, which was not a Bricklink designer program set, and I also built brick cross station, which again was from the Bricklink designer program. You can just see it up here above my head. So that will be one of the stations within my layout, but obviously I intend to add, you know, more, a few more at least. I have some Lego City ones, old and new, that I intend to sort of build up and sort of flash out a little bit. So I kind of see them being slightly more rural stations. So I don't want to completely take away from the original look of them. I like the Lego City trains or the Lego City stations. I know they're not necessarily the most exciting looking things, and they're very kind of nondescript in their design, but I don't know, it's just Lego though, you know, it's kind of true to what they are, and they're, you know, they have that sort of nice Lego-ness about them, and I don't want to lose that entirely from the city. I do want to keep an element of Lego in the city. I want it to be authentic, but I also want it to feel like Lego City. And so I don't want to sort of change them up too much, but I'd like to just maybe close them off and things like that, you know. But they will kind of probably be more rural. And then I've got, like I said, I've got a couple of bigger stations then that I've got through the Bricklink designer program that I have to build up and have as sort of more important stations within the region. So the Studgate station, which I aim to build next, it's a fantastic big station. It's sort of bridges over sort of two railways, two tracks in the middle. It's very grand, but I actually intend to sort of convert it into a terminal station, and it will sort of be, so essentially there's going to be a part of my layout which most of the layout is continuous, so it's going to run continuously around the room, but I do plan to have a section in the middle which is like the central city core, and that will be on a table. So I plan to run a line or two potentially from the station into, or from sort of the outer loops of the layout into the actual central station, but it will be a terminal station. It'll be a dead end. So the trains will run in and then run back out again and sort of join the main line. And it just has it's quite grand after it, and I think it will sort of serve that purpose very well. Okay, so that's bag one finished. It didn't take terribly long. I fear this build could be over really quickly. I suppose when we get to place the stickers, it'll slow progress down a little bit anyway. So we're on the bag two already. And again, it's just one smaller bag inside. It will not take long to do this bag because it is for the most part brick. It should build up very quickly. We start off with one by one brick. So we had the on Friday night, so I didn't do a huge amount of building over the weekend. I was actually out on Saturday night. I don't do that very often. Which left me feeling a little bit sorry for myself on Sunday, so it wasn't the most productive of days, and then I had to endure Man United back to their best. So I didn't really get building much over the weekend. On Friday night I built this little suitcase here, and the Indiana Jones set then, which it's built down behind me. I don't really want to take it out, but that's the box anyway. just so you can see. So that's what we set with up there with the airplane and the car and a couple of indie figures and stuff. So it's quite a good rebuild. I quite like the car and the plane. I know they don't really fit in sort of from a time perspective with the rest of my layout look like, but I don't mind that. And they might sort of well feature in like a museum size setup or something like that. So this is built in such a way where you can put a coin into the little coin slot, and it actually runs through and comes back out again. I'll demo that when we get to that stage of the build. We've got our first couple of stickers here. So these stickers are just representing little pictures on the wall on the inside. So the first one is like an arcade machine with a pretty sort of funky psychedelic pattern around it. I'll just use my brick separator to pop that on. And then the second one is a rather sort of bright picture, and it's a little Lego figure playing football. I'll just show you side by side just for. So that's the first couple of pictures in. You'll see a little dude playing football, and then a wee arcade machine as well. I'll just stick them onto the wall now. I'll let you have a look at sort of the actual details of the build once it's complete. I don't think it'll be teaching it probably at this point, but as we get a bit further through the build, or when I get sort of a section built, I'll let you have a look at after this. In fact, when we get to the end of this bag, then I'll just let you have a little look at sort of where we've got to after bags 1 and bags 2. It's certainly not the most complex of builds, that's for sure. Especially at this stage, it is predominantly larger pieces. Bricks and plates quickly as well, actually. So. Finish this bag. This goes along here. Alright, so that's the end of the second bag now as well. So So we are sort of moving through this quite rapidly. I'm not a huge amount to look at so far, so you just have the bottom of the machine here where the coins go in, and they obviously get returned, so they'll go in this little section here, get returned at the bottom. And then just sort of starting the interior, just those couple of pictures on the wall, and then the formation of a shelf presumably, but yeah, not a great amount to look at so far. You see the hinge on the bottom there then, so that the back can open and close. Go on the bag 3. Suspecting we'll have to find something else to build today. I have one more set actually, sitting in this room with me. It was the other set that I had sort of put forward as a potential build for Friday night. It's just a wee Lego City set. It's a wee sort of produce van. So we'll see. I might potentially build that one. It's not one that I'm sort of particularly excited about building, but I do want it for my layout. So you know it will obviously serve a purpose. So there's a very confusing first step here. Well, it's not. They've assigned a whole step in the booklet to, well, picking out a 4x1 white plate. The next step actually moves on to a slightly different section of the build, funny enough. We've got 2 more stickers then. These ones are going to be a bit more challenging. I just want to make sure that they're on the right way. In fact, I'm going to try and place them whilst the windows are in the frame, because I'm just afraid of getting these wrong. Okay, first up then. I think they're both, it's the same both ways around, so I might apply it to the bottom section. Right, no, I'm not happy. This will make exhilarating viewing for a little while. I'm probably going to get a wee bit particular about these. Okay, I think that's reasonable. Not going to bring these right over, but it's just little bits of decor on the window, sort of folding slab bits. I think it's sort of to create the impression of blinds, presumably. Our gamer obviously likes a nice blacked out room. Just one more to pop on. And we'll be back to a proper building. Getting quite funny light glaring at me here. I can't quite see what I'm doing. Okay, I think that's fine. Yeah, we're happy with that. Right, so we've got our 2 windows in. So there we go, that's the 2 frames with the sort of stickered up windows inside. And just a few brackets in to go around these on the inside. I'm not sure exactly how these windows are going to represent, because they're, from what I can tell, they're on the inside of what would be the screen of the arcade machine. So like, as far as I'm concerned, they kind of sit like that. So they won't be the easiest things in the world to open. If you needed them open, but maybe that's intentional. In which case I'm not sure why they've used this particular piece, but just noticing the cat's just sitting in the hall, just staring at me here. He's not amused. He is not amused. No doubt that some food as well, but guess what? It is not food time. Okay, so here's the big cool printed piece I was talking about then. So I'll bring it over and let you have a look at it once I've placed it on here. You should have it on the right way. I'll just put this plate across the top. So it's very kind of, well, maybe not Space Invader-y, but it's sort of reminiscent of that style, you know, the heavily pixelated There we go. So that looks pretty cool. And like I said, that is actually a printed piece. You can see the different scores on there for the different players, and then you can see the little space ships flying through the rocky terrain and sort of shooting anything that's coming onto it. So that's very cool. I'm sure anyone of a certain age can relate to that. So this may actually perhaps hinge up and down as well. So maybe the window is accessible through hinging this up. Oh, I've got another very cool printed piece here, which I haven't. No, I'll take it back. It's a freaking sticker. Oh, this is going to be a really awkward sticker to apply because it's going on a 1x8 tile. It's going to be really hard to get it lined up. It's basically the on-screen controls and like a wee logo. So again, I'm going to sort of disappear into a world of stickers here for a little while, and I'll come back to you once I get it attached. I'm not overly enthusiastic with this one. Problem is, whenever you get too close to the actual, oh here, that might be okay. I think we're good now. It's just keeping it lined up all smooth. Alright, we got it. We're good. It's not the easiest sticker to apply now, but just to sort of reiterate what I was working with there. So it's this sticker here then. So it was on this 1x8 tile, so it was just making sure to keep it lined up from one side to the other. Sometimes whenever you stick it on, leave it all nice on one side. And then when you sort of lift back and look at it, you realise that it's sitting at a horrible angle the whole way across. So, but we've got through it okay. Alright, just these little hinge. Just to go on then. Okay, and then this just clips in. Oof. This goes in here, like so. And this looks like it may open up our hinge. I don't know if the hinges are there just to help create the right angle for the screen, or if it's just to add a wee bit of accessibility. I guess we will find out in due course. curious the way they use these colour pieces sometimes. So we're just kind of building up a little bit of sort of tile work in behind here, but it's all sort of bright green and blue, which is somewhat unusual. Right, there's some wedge plates going in here as well, so I think that will kind of determine how far forward the screen can hinge. So I suspect there might be something goes into the rear as well, which holds it sort of in place there. So I think the hinges are there merely just to create the angle. So we're going to get this piece in for some reason. There we go. This is just kind of creating the controller area then as well at the front of the machine. Got some jumper plates going in, and then just some of these little kind of mini sort of turntable style modified plates. Just repeating that then on the other side. Very limited movement in the joysticks. In truth, it's more a design choice that rather than any sort of functionality. And then just the wee buttons, so just a wee blue button and the yellow button for each of the players. And then we have, oh wow, isn't that lovely? Got another very cool printed piece, which has a sticker goes on the inside of it. So I'll do the sticker on the inside and then I'll let you have a wee slightly closer look at the actual printed piece itself. So it's one of the 5x6 panels, and yeah, it has some very neat print work on the outside of it. So there we go. I'm going to call this game Brick Invaders. So there you have, yes, that's a printed piece with the sort of Lego style spaceship on the outside hurling through space. And that's just the sticker that went on the inside, so it's just a wee bit of air conditioning and venting and stuff on the inside of the den. So it's almost suggesting that this is down in maybe down in a basement or something. And that just goes on the side there and sort of creates that whole side. And then the other side, I don't know if it's panelled as well or not. I think it might be. So we'll make it a wee bit more interesting print work on the other side as well, but I think that's in a different bag. So then we have one of these wee modified 2x1 plates with the little sort of hook clip, whatever it is on the outside, and that then goes in behind, and then that is, as suspected, what just helps hold the actual screen of the arcade machine sort of at that angle. So these windows won't be accessible and there's no way of opening them. But that side very well built up. Just switching over here and just adding the. So slightly built slightly different one side to the other, obviously, because one side hinges open and closed. So it's obviously sort of set up more for movement. Okay, and that brings us to the end of yet another bag. So that's 3 bags done. It's not going to take us any time to finish this. We're probably more than halfway through. So there's where we're up to now. Then you can see we've got the whole front of the machine built. We've got the screen all here, the controllers and the joysticks and the buttons, and then you've got the little area there for pen at the bottom. And on the inside again, just add a wee bit more detail. There's another wee shelf in there and some more stickers to sort of just add some detail to the internal walls. I'll be back in 1 second. I just need to go and check on the cat here because he's going mad. What are you on about? Oh, sorry folks, I'm back. Right, yes, he just wandered out. So I'll just keep in quiet for a little bit longer here. Right, how you doing, man? You have a nice day too? Any nice plans, or what's the crack? Well, you know where everyone's from, so I don't know sort of what state of the day everybody's at. Right, so bag 4 then. Yeah, I suspect this won't take too long because again, it's a lot of sort of larger plate and sort of pieces like that, so we should get through it pretty quickly. We've been contemplating starting to stream in other formats as well. The only problem is I don't know how to do that sort of off one device. I'm sure there's software you can use that sort of pushes your streams across you know, multiple platforms, but I would assume that they would come with premium, particularly one paid it is, so I suspect I would need a second device, probably just sort of streaming at the same time. I don't own a second, well I do have another phone, I have an older phone, but it's it doesn't really stay on. So it was Samsung Galaxy, I've rebooted it, I've done all sorts to it, but there seems to be some sort of a hardware error where it just keeps switching off, which is why I ended up having to replace it. So I don't think it would be reliable enough. The only other platform that I could stream on is Instagram, which I'm not on TikTok, so, but okay, I don't know. Don't know if it's worth it or not. I've got another nice big sticker coming up here, so let's get that on. So it's just a logo for the arcade machine. It just says space and has, you know, some funky writing. It has some lines and stars and stuff on it then just to sort of up the design a bit. So I'll just pop that on. Take more in. That's not straight. This is a great thing about using the brick separator. It does
give you the option to, it definitely helps for lining it up for one. It also makes it quite easy to extract the sticker again if you're not happy with the placement. And as you can see, I'm really sure on this one, right? This looks good. This looks good. There we go. We have it. We have liftoff. So that's the sticker then that was just applied. Like I said, it's just a sort of generic logo for the arcade machine. Legoland official said hi. Hi Legoland official. How are you? Thanks for dropping in on the stream rather. Steam. What's going on in your world today? Right, so this thing goes on like so. And that just sort of lids the machine then. That's looking cool. Like I said, it's just a perfect height for our little friend here to get his gaming fix. Kind of feel like they're releasing lots of these sort of sets in this kind of scale, with the intention of it sort of pairing up really well with the scaled up minifigures, because it can't be with them. It's not really how Lego works anyway, is it? And scale wise, they're almost perfect. Now we're just building a little couch then for our sort of minifig gamer then to sit on and play from when he is having his chill time. A nice little joypad there, which I always think looks uncommonly like an Xbox controller. Just without all the right button colours. There we go. And then I'll just slide into the back there, so it all fits in very snugly. And now this is kind of our first mini arcade machine. So inside the big arcade machine there are smaller arcade machines with another sticker. So this one looks like a little platform style game, I would say. Almost Mario like. I'll let you be the judge of that whenever I bring it over. There we go, what do we think? That could be Mario, couldn't it? So that's our first little arcade machine. And we have here, we have the controller. And we have another sticker to go on here, so junk bot. So I presume that's what this game is to be known as. So here we have jump bot. It's going to be the easiest way to say. So I only hate putting the stickers on these angle bricks because it's a bit harder to sort of gauge the placement, or curve bricks rather. Maybe better going lengthwise. on top. There we have a nice little sort of mini version of an arcade machine then. Which will go inside the big machine. It has a nice wee spot there beside the sofa. And that's a lot more stickers here, so we have loads of different games consoles here then. One looks like a GameCube, one could be a PlayStation. I don't know if they're specifically trying to represent anything, or they're just kind of generic, but you can put stickers on anyway. And then there's like a wee shelf above the sofa, and these all sit on that shelf. So again, once I've finished, I'll let you have a wee look in slightly more detail. So there's a lot of stickers for such a small set, to be fair, but it also doesn't come at the most significant of price points. So, and there are some very unique sticker pieces in there, or printed pieces in there. So I don't really know how else they would have kept the price as it is and got the bit of detail that they have done without a piece of sticker. So sometimes you just have to accept the trade-off. Alright, there we go. So that's all our wee consoles sitting on top, console boxes. Now just a couple of wee micro figures then. Maybe represent some games characters or something like that. And they just go on the inside, and then one last piece, and then that is the end of that box. Okay, so that's where we're up to then. So you can see the front now has kind of that lid on top of the machine, and then the name of the arcade machine there, or the name of the game itself, Space. And then on the inside, you can see that we have a little bit of detail there, with the arcade machines, the couch, the consoles, and then a couple of wee figures sort of up on the shelf as well. So. And then that takes us on to bag 5, which is the penultimate bag. And again, just like with every other bag, it's got one small bag and it's sort of housing the smaller pieces. And it does have another nice printed piece on one of the 6x5 panels, but it's the exact same printing as on the other side. So again, it's just that brick spaceship. So just for carrying that design across onto the other side there just from a distance. So it's cool. Bricks in this bag, so it'll not take overly long to finish it. Quite a few of the pieces have actually stuck themselves together in the bag itself. Then whenever you're using those big panels, you cover so much retail very quickly, don't you? So we have a black sort of panel here which has a sticker on the inside and the outside, so we have like an electrical warning certificate on, or not certificates, sign on one side, and then we have sort of just another sort of bigger sticker, sort of depicting details. It has television, speakers, game consoles, a few other accessories and bits and pieces on them. So I hate putting the stickers on the insides of these panels because if you get it wrong, it can be trouble. I'm not happy with that one, so I'm going to try and get it back out again. Oh no, no, no. Oh, it's gone down on me. How am I going to get that up? Bear with me, folks. Sorry, this is probably not the most riveting of content, but the sticker is not on in a way that I'm happy with, and I cannot get it back up again. I'm just also worried about damaging the sticker here. Let's see if I hate stickers. We're almost off. I think we might be able to get this now using the brick separator. Oh. Just afraid the sticker itself is going to get ruined. Oh yeah, most certainly isn't in the condition it was in when it first went on. It's kind of well enough hidden away that hopefully if I can get it on nice and even, you'll not notice. There we go. That's not too bad actually. Oh, I'm sweating. It's not perfect, but there is a wee bit of sort of sticker damage there, but I don't think you would notice. So basically that's the sticker then that was going on the inside, so you can see down in the corner here. Oh, it's fine, don't worry about that. You can see down in the corner here just a wee bit of creasing. Just for me trying to lift it because I hadn't it placed terribly square. But I think sort of in the context of how it's placed and where it is, it shouldn't be that noticeable. Try and press it down a wee bit more with it. And just a wee bit of sort of residue from the adhesive as well. Anyhow, we'll move on. It's not too bad. Rascal with the sticker there, probably double the amount of time it actually takes to build this bag. We're over an hour. My Ronnie designer says hello. Hi Ronnie designer, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Unfortunately, I have no idea what that means. But there is a way around that. I'm really good, man, thank you. How are you? Like, I'm sitting on a weekday building Lego, so life's not bad, right? We're sort of fast approaching the end here now of this bag. Just a few wee bits of detail I was presuming here to go on. There's actually a little less to this than I was expecting. We're just popping the other nice printed tile, or well, it's not even a tile, it's a panel on there. Sort of building up the top edge and just securing everything off. That's the wrong piece. Let's put these little clips on here, and they obviously just hook on to, there's like sort of like bars on the other side of the machine, and this clips on and then it can swivel open and close, which is nice. So it's just like some sort of a vent or something on the rear end of the machine, just above the little electricity warning section. Forgot to put half the pieces onto it. It's just some nice detailing on the rear of the machine to represent, like I say, for ventilation or cooling. And that just clips on like so. And then, as I mentioned, this is designed to be sort of openable and closable, so there we have the two clips then that go on this side, and then we can open and close. So we've basically just built up this little section here, so it's the sort of back. The back and the left walls, you look at the front of the machine, so as you can see inside there's just a bit of wee bench down here, some detailing on that panel, and then we've got some snap bricks here which presumably will have stuff attached to them from the final bag. And then on the rear, and the only thing that I don't really like so far with the set, so we have a little bit of ventilation, this sticker here, but then because obviously we have that brown shelf, we just have like a random brown plate running along through the bottom and the back, which I'm not overly enamored with, but I suppose for the most part it's going to be sitting probably face on because you're going to want to see that full detail, so we'll probably not notice that. And yeah, that's us then on to bag number 6, which just happens to be the final bag, so let's crack it open. Definitely much less exciting than the last mid-week build series. I don't know if anyone's on here at the minute was tuned into that, but I built a T-Rex fossil. and by golly was it impressive. It's an absolutely phenomenal set, so much detail and just an extraordinarily good build. So this is, yeah, just a little bit less exciting. However, it's cool setting on that. So we just have our first wall decoration thing going on. It's just one of these, it almost looks like, I don't know what you call them, it's like the weapon that Raphael has in the Turtles, the two sort of three-pronged, like a three-pronged sword or something, or not sword, like dagger, not sure what you call them. If anyone does know, let me know in the comments. That's just out there, I know that little gold one. And then we obviously have sort of representation of a bookcase here. And along the wall. There's not a lot of imagination in the design of it. Each section seems to be built exactly the same. No, sorry, I'm doing a disservice. I've changed one of the colours here. And then we're back to the original design again. So yeah, just a wee sort of bookcase here, which is pretty darn well stacked, I must say. Someone obviously enjoys reading their books. I would like to leave more sort of colour, creativity, and imagination on that, but then that goes up on these snowflakes then. So just so you can see what I'm doing there, I've just added that wee section in the wall there. It's kind of all built in, almost built in little stages and then attached in. And then we have a little bit of pipework then that goes in along the top of the unit. Again, it's kind of depicting a, you know, just like a gaming room down in a basement or something. 1, 2, 3. And that's a nice wee printed sort of round tile there. It's just sort of replicating like a sort of valve opening or something like that. And that goes on the top of it. And then again, I think it's just a bit more pipework then down the side of the building. There's like a sort of handle as well, so you can release pressure or something in the system. It's just a nice piece of detail, really. Have I done it incorrectly? Of course I have. And that just runs down the side. Very hard to get in. There we go. Just kind of sort of frames the room off quite nice and just does give it that sort of feel of the ground basement with, you know, pipes running all around, some heating system in the house or whatever it is, water maybe, or okay, and then I think it's just a wee bit of detail left then. That's the actual sort of core structure of the unit built. So we've got this wee spaceship now, which is on one of those sort of nice wee translucent studs on a bar, which allows you to sort of pivot them a wee bit and things like that. So it's quite cool. So a very simple spaceship design, just using a wedge plate and like a translucent yellow cheese wedge as well. It's very neat. There you go, there's our little spaceship there. Now it's probably quite hard to see, but that just attaches onto the wall as well. Not like that though. And then we have what looks like, I don't know if it's sort of meant to represent a games console with disc, maybe coming out of it or going into it, or if it's a record player or something, but a little something akin to one or the two. I think it's actually meant to be a games console because there's a little TV there beside it, which we'll build up next, which has the final sticker on it then. And just the last wee bit of detail. And just a nice old school TV. Kind of was watching I forgot to place one thing. I was watching Stranger Things last night. We're sort of watching back through it now in preparation for the new series, and we're watching it with our children as well because I've never seen it before. And I was just laughing when they were talking about the TV and one of their rooms and sort of bragging about it being 22 inch, and it's like, wow. A little 22 inch TV, seen as good back then, and sort of comparatively speaking, it's nothing now. So anyway, just this little TV then, which goes on down the bottom here. Oh no, I'm not missing one piece. I just haven't got to that section yet. Oh, so it's like a little place then where the coins are stored for using the actual main arcade machine itself. Put the wrong coin in there. It's just a wee square piece. So we've got 1 and 2. Oh, they're hard to get in. Probably even harder to get out. Come on. My word. Can't get the coins in. There we go. And that's it. That's the end of that build. So I'll move these wee spare pieces out of the way, and then we'll close it up, put it into arcade machine mode, and let me just test this out then. So, there we go. I'll show you this in more detail. So, as I was saying, it's kind of set up so that you can put the coin in. So the coin just goes in here. You put the coin in, and then it comes out the bottom. I'm holding it at an angle, which is why it wasn't quite as smooth as it should have been, but there you are. So that's the machine then built. Let me put that down. So that's the machine in all its glory then. You can see there the front with all the detail, the arcade sticks, the buttons, the game playing in the background, the logo. And then these cool panels then on either side as well. And then obviously it opens up. And then you get all this cool detail on the inside. So obviously we've got a wee couch here with an arcade machine, the joypads, all these console boxes up here, some bits and pieces on the wall, some details in this sticker. And then we've got just a few wee models, bookcase. And then we've got our console and our game here. It looks like Outrun or something playing on there. And a few other details in the background. And then we have our little minifigure then, who we can just pop in onto this seat here. If we could get him, there we go. And he's just sitting, chilling away. There we have it. And then the intention is that it's probably a little bit on the small side, but our little friend here then, when he's not jetting off on his holidays, has this little game machine to play with instead. So yeah, that's pretty neat. I like that. That's kind of the end of that set. So I don't know now if we'll maybe build something else. We're not too far into the stream. We've still got a bit of time. We're just gonna pop all these bags away out of the way. I'll stick them back into the box for now. And so I do have one more little set down here that I could theoretically build. It's a little Lego City set, so it'll not be a terribly difficult build. What's this one here? What do you think about that? I had thought that would have taken a little bit longer, from being entirely honest, so I hadn't sort of planned on building anything else, but I have this set sitting out. And it is one that I want to build anyway, because I do anticipate having it within my layout. So maybe we should crack on with this now as well. And a couple of smaller builds and I'll do this. Hey Alison, mate, how you doing? Arcade machines build. That's not it there, so it's just a bit more sort of prominent in the middle there, you can see it. So yeah, we'll crack this open then, and we'll build this one as well. May as well, while we're on here, we may as well do a wee bit more. What time is it? 2:45, so I've got plenty of time. So it's only a city build. I don't expect it to take too long. My computer updated to Windows 11 recently, and I keep getting an error popping up, and it's quite annoying actually. So this is set number 60345. So this is a Lego City set from, I think it was from 22. Yes, 2022. This came out in 2022. It is obviously now a retired product. And it's just there's kind of a line of these little food trucks coming out at the minute. So more recently we've had the donut truck, we've had like a burger van, we've had ice cream, we've had slushy, we've had a pizza van, and then obviously we also had this wee sort of less of a food van and more of a fresh produce van. So yeah, this kind of falls in with that line, and I think this will just work very nicely within my layout when we get it all built. So we'll pop the contents out anyway. Have a look. So it's just a small sticker sheet here, thankfully. It's just 3 stickers, so it's just a little pricing label. Pricing label and the number plate for the vehicle, and a little logo as well then. And then we have 2 instruction manuals. One for the little sort of kind of 2 sections to the build. So we've got this little section here where there's like a farmer and he's growing his produce, and then there's a second section of the build then, which is the actual van itself and a few little sort of market pieces and whatnot. So I actually think I'm going to start with the van, because I think that's a bit more exciting. But bags 2 and 3, so I'll leave bag 1 out of the way for now. It's kind of nice actually, you can theoretically build this with someone. Someone's obviously building the vehicle while somebody else builds the wee vegetable plot. Also comes with a few very neat mini figures. I think it's 3 in total, or maybe 2. Yeah, we've got 3 in total. So I'll have a look at them whenever we get to them. So first up then. So bag number 2 then. So that kind of builds the sort of chassis of the vehicle, and then there's like a few wee containers that sit down to the front, selling various bits of produce. So that's what we're starting with in this bag anyway. So again, it's just another vehicle for the layout for the city, which isn't a bad thing. I want the city to be as lively and vibrant as possible, so it will obviously need a lot of sort of minifigures and vehicles just to help tell them stories and create create that sort of interesting dynamism. And then these are some nice little extras in that we can sort of factor in as well. This kind of matches up very well with our recently released sort of like a convenience store, and it's all lined up with the same branding and stuff. All of these fresh logos and all that jazz. So it sits very well alongside that. So I almost see the convenience store being just a little store in a little town, and then they take their van out in the road and sort of serve some of the sort of less accessible areas. You know, maybe people can't get into the town or something. So that's kind of how I'm storing this out anyway. We've just got a few bits of fruit and veg in, or I think it's all fruit actually. We have a couple of apples, a red and a green one, a pumpkin and a banana. And they're just sitting in these little containers then. There we go, so that's just what we've built there first up. And then we'll presumably start on to the vehicle now. Like I said, this bag then focuses on the chassis of the vehicle itself. And then the next bag we can build up the sort of top of it and the sort of shop sections of the rear and the cab and things like that. But like I said, he's sitting quite some time. Obviously they're again not the most compact of builds, you know, they're kind of marketed, you know, this is 5 plus, so it's marketed as a 5 plus, so you know, from a build perspective it can't be too difficult. So the pieces for the most part are larger, and there's nothing too terribly tricky in terms of techniques or anything used to sort of form the builds themselves. So. And the instructions are very straightforward. It's a significantly thick instruction manual for such a small build, but it's because the actual instructions themselves are laid out in such a fashion whereby it's maybe like 4 pieces per page at best. You know, so like the previous instruction there was just two orange, trans orange 1x1 plates, and now we have for the green wedge pieces. So you know, the actual amount of pieces being applied at each stage is minimal. But again, that lends itself to the demographic that these are kind of marketed towards. So there must be a grill goes on the front of this because there's a couple of wee clips going on. Through this, to be honest. I kind of want to take my time, but there's not a huge amount to it. So. Again, like I said, because each sort of instruction section is so small and in detail, you can't sort of help it to go through it very quickly. So just as we're kind of reaching the end stage of the stream, I'll just reiterate then, you know, what's coming up. I'll be doing my Friday stream as per usual. hopefully get another wee stream in tomorrow afternoon too. Haven't quite planned it out yet. And it's just, I'm not entirely sure what to build at the minute. But that is as a result of my forthcoming joint build with A4 Bricks. So we're going to be building the Krusty Burger together from The Simpsons. It's a relatively new Lego set, and one that I have been sitting on for a little while, but I'm looking forward to building, and we kind of thought it'd be cool to stream it together. So we haven't quite ironed out the logistics of it all yet, but it is our intention on Friday night to stream together from my house here, and yeah, so that's kind of stopping me from starting into anything too significant at the minute on the streams. I don't want to start into a large build that I have to set aside and to, build something else. So it's kind of makes it a wee bit more challenging to decide what I should be building. So if I do get the time tomorrow, we'll try and get on for another wee stream, and I'll try and find a set this evening. I think it'll be interesting. In the meantime, if anyone isn't already sort of subscribed to the channel, obviously if you're not interested, that's good. But if you think you might be at all interested in sort of following my Lego journey, then please do subscribe. I have a series going at the minute where I'm building the Lego Dungeons and Dragons set. I'm building it daily based on interactions the previous day. So I'm putting on a number of bricks relative to the amount of interaction I get on the sort of the previous day's iteration of the video. So by all means, check out that playlist. It's a really cool build. I think I'd like to follow along. I really appreciate the support. Do give us a like here as well. Just help promote this content and help push it to other Lego fans. I'd really appreciate it. I don't particularly like plugging, but it's got to be done from time to time. At the end of the day, if I accept it, what I do may be interesting to someone, not to others. But if you've tuned in today and find it even remotely interesting, then do consider checking out my other content. So I'm also working on a Lego City layout. Not a lot happening at the minute. I'm still sort of unboxing a lot of my collection, but that doesn't feel right. The way that's built. I'm pretty certain it is. Yeah, I will be working on a Lego layout, and that is sort of primarily what I set my channel up to cover. But my focus really at the minute is just sort of getting my collection all sorted, getting it all unboxed, and once I sort of get myself in a better position with that, then I'll be able to focus a bit more on building. I still don't also have my tables in place the way I kind of had hoped, and sort of anticipated at this stage is very much a work in progress. So, right, I'll just let you have a look at the minifigure here as well. So quite cool actually. There's a little lady then that works in the van. So there you can see she has that nice little sort of padded jacket on, just plain blue legs. And then this little padded jacket with the wee front pockets, some nice detail in there as well. And then a wee bit more detailing on the rear. And then she does have two faces. She has this really happy, smiley face. Made a great sale. That's how you feel. And then we have this sort of more straight face, but again, some nice detail there. And then she has a very interesting headpiece which I'm struggling to put on. There we go. So she has a bright blue hair with these funky buns. So she's pretty cool job. And then she just has a little box as well then with various bits and pieces in it. So we'll just set them all there for now. As we move on to the next bag, which is just building up the rest of the vehicle. And our next minifigure, which presumably is the customer. It's very generic. Like again, there's none. I'm not sure about that torso actually. That might be slightly more unique torso, but this chap, this minifigure, there's nothing really unique about him. He's just a very standard figure. He only has printing on one side of his face. He has a fairly normal sort of tousled hair, black hair, little jacket, to be sporty jacket, green trousers. I'll just let you have a look at him now. Again, there's no detailing on the legs, just dark blue legs. Then we have that nice sort of jacket torso that's sort of unbuttoned. Wee bit of detailing on the back, and then, like I said, no printing other than the front side of the face. And he has purchased himself a nice big carrot. Healthy chap. Okay, so we'll move on then to actually sort of building up the sort of rear of the vehicle now. And just a little area that the lady serves from. So we have a little cash register here. It's just a wee printed wedge piece. Where's that? No, it's just a wee printed wedge piece, and it has a wee sort of coin on top of it. It's just this sort of standard available cash register at the minute, or it's like a wee point of sale terminal rather than a register. And I've got some windows. I'm actually going to put the wheels on now. I find it easier. Obviously, putting the wheels on it's more prone to roll, but I find it a wee bit more stable, to be honest. It's just the way it is at the minute. Whenever you're pressing down one side, it has a tendency to tip over, so I'm just going to put the wheels on now. There we go. What size is that? That's 6x6, isn't it? 6x6 or 6x7, I'm not sure. This big panel here then with a door on it. In our frame rather with the opening doors, and then we have our first sticker then goes on one of these doors then, so it's just a wee number plate that kind of goes onto the bottom of the door. Alien Teens Production says hi. How you doing? Alien Teens Production, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're good. This just goes on to the bottom corner. Yeah, I'm really good, thank you. I'm sitting here building Lego, so life's not bad, eh? that's good to hear. An exciting week planned? Well, that's the downside of Lego, really, isn't it? It's super expensive. You just gotta work hard and save hard, and just be careful, I suppose, don't you? Get what you really want, and you know, if the set doesn't really resonate with you, then don't waste your money on it. No, I absolutely appreciate the sort of challenges presented with the cost of Lego. I'm rather fortunate, you know, that I've been in a position to sort of get as much as I have, but that's not through anything other than hard work. You know, I have my own business, I do other wee jobs on the side, I do a bit of buying and selling, and only through all that can I sort of justify and afford what I get. So you have to put it in, you want to get it back out again. To be fair, I don't do a huge amount else with my spare time. Like I don't go out that often these days. I was out at the weekend, but that was a night that was put on, and it was for the most part free, so it wasn't an expensive evening. I have two children to whom most of my money ends up going. Play a little bit of football, but only for a bit of crack with a group of mates, and it's relatively inexpensive. I don't drink much, I don't smoke. So, you know, I spend money where it needs to be spent, and then whatever's left over, I can buy Lego. And like I say, it's just about being sensible. You know, it really does pay to shop around. A lot of times you do find, you know, Lego on sale. And if you're smart, you know, you can save yourself money and you can make it seem a bit more affordable. Don't get me wrong, it's still expensive regardless, but this just doesn't feel right. Oh no, okay, it's fine, it's fine. Okay, so that wee window then it's just click on and it opens and closes, and it's not clicking in terribly well, but it should sit flush. There we go. You can see it. Bit of effort. It opens and closes. Move our next sticker here, which is our menu. So I don't know what currency these numbers represent, but it's basically cheap unless you're getting a lot for your money here. So apples are 3 whatever, carrots are 4, and peppers are also 3. So I hope that that's some Lego currency that isn't the most strum of currencies otherwise. That's super dear. Yeah, so it's a nice wee sliding window here at the front as well. So it sort of swings open at the rear, slides open at the front. So cool. So it's a nice accessible little unit anyway, so our vendor can swing open the door at the rear to get sort of, I'm not really sure why they would do that. There's also a door at the back where you can presumably load the produce into the van. And you then have sort of access at the rear through a swinging door and access at the front through a sliding door. So it's a fairly accessible truck. To hold it all together. Looking good. Let's stick our windshield on. Actually, I think I'll pop that lady in as the driver for now. Put her wee basket just in this rear door here. Just sort of sitting nicely in there. It should theoretically just slide in, but maybe not perfectly aligned. There we go. And then we just have like the sort of roof diorama to do then, or not diorama, what's the word? Signage. It's like a big 3D signage. For final sticker as well, so just with that nice sort of fresh logo then that kind of makes its way through it. And then we can just pop that on top there. Yeah, and there's just our big carrot then that goes on top of the actual vehicle itself. There we go, that's cool. So that's our big 3D carrot then. That goes on top of the vehicle, so that goes on there. And that is, that's a lot of them. That sort of represents everything from those instruction booklets. Just building up the vehicle and the little, this little display for at the front. I don't really like this, to be honest. It's a bit, it's not terribly well weighted and it seems to fall over quite a bit. I know obviously the purpose of it is to sit at the front there and just display the produce, but so all we have to do then is build the wee farmers allotment section of the building. I wasn't actually going to bother doing it in this stream, but given that I'm pretty much wrapping up now, I might as well just do the rest of it and then it's all done. Shouldn't actually run. Just this one bag
And then we also have our final minifigure in this bag as well, which is just another farmer. And then we also get a little bunny rabbit. So that you have a look at those. And then this gives you some great ideas actually for you know, designing crops. You know, if you're maybe building a farm or something in your layout. I'll just put the minifigure together here first, and I'll let you have a look at him along with the little bunny rabbit, who no doubt is causing all sorts of stress to the farmer eating his produce. There we go, so that's the final minifigure then in this set. So not a huge amount of detail in there. He obviously has his little sort of uniform on there, like a little boiler jacket style with a fresh logo on the front of it. He only has printing on one side of his face. It's just that sort of scruffy farmer there with his big pitchfork. There's just a wee bit of detailing on the rear there as well. And then obviously we've got the wee bunny rabbit too, who's getting to work on his crops. You just leave them there and then watch the build this up and get finished. They do all have some of the Technic bricks with the holes in them, which sort of gives the impression that there is intention for them to have to be pinned together with, you know, other sections of the build. So I know it is the same on this here. There's some Technic pin holes in the bottom of one of the bricks there, so perhaps it's designed to be lined up alongside this. Well, not designed, but it's an option, I suppose. And then this is based on two 8x8 plates, which again have pins and Technic holes, so they can presumably be oriented in, you know, different ways depending on how you want to lay things out. We have a rather okay. There's a wee play function here as well, which is quite neat. I'll show you this in a second. So it's kind of just to resemble a carrot in different stages of growth. As you can see there, we have our sort of newly planted carrot that's just started to sprout. And then if you go like that, we have our big spanky fresh carrot that's ready for picking. Oh, it's kind of built into a wee channel then. Sort of hidden in behind with bricks and wedges, or slopes. Now we're just building up a couple of different types of crop here. So this set also introduced a new element, which is fantastic but hardly expensive if you're trying to get it any other way than through this set, and it's the little corn on the cob. So that's what we're building first. It's just the sort of corn stalk, and then you get these cool little corn elements here, which are really neat and very well moulded and done, but they are quite expensive if you want to pick them up off the outside of the pick-a-brick wall. I presume they're the pick-a-brick online. I presume they're still on there. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, they're not the cheapest. Change the alignment a wee bit just so these can all sit on. So yeah, it's just a very simple little mini build in. Just accommodates the van, obviously. I don't know what I'll do with this. I don't imagine me placing this in its current form anywhere within my layout, but the pieces themselves are sort of useful to have. And then we also have a grapevine here
there too. It's great, we can grow all sorts. And the lovely climate we have in this Lego village. Lego town, Lego whatever. Can't touch these grapes. So they're just placed sort of upside down, these little sort of green stocky ones are just placed upside down now. So obviously you've got the grapes hanging in from the vine. Does look really well, so it's a really good idea for how to sort of create, you know, a nice grapevine. That is something I want to have. I was going to have a vineyard actually, but I've since decided rather than the vineyard I might go for a coffee farm. So yeah, I think that's probably the more appropriate option for me. I do want to have a big sort of coffee focus in my layout as well, with farms and roasters and, well, maybe a farm, a roaster, and like some competing coffee shops, like a chain and then a little independent. So I own a coffee shop myself, and my intention is to recreate my coffee shop in Lego form and have that as a little independent, and then I'll have sort of Lego's own coffee chain as the rival and the alternative. I think I should be able to come up with some interesting and fun stories then, you know, kind of off the back of that. I had actually started, we actually moved premises a number of years ago, sort of around COVID time, so a good while ago. And I had started to digitally design my sort of old shop then, and I actually really liked it, and I was able to cram a lot more detail in than I had anticipated. But unfortunately we're not there anymore. I'll say unfortunately, it's not unfortunate, sort of in real term, but from the perspective I designed it and can no longer use it, it's unfortunate. So I do need to sit down and sort of recreate our new place. I think that'll be quite good. I'm looking forward to that. So we've got a little sort of, I wouldn't say a fire hydrant here, I presume it's just like a little water pump. There's maybe like a well or something nearby. It just pumps the water from the well. And we've got two more pieces of produce growing here then. Got chilies on one side, and I'm not sure actually what's growing on the other. And they're kind of done in a similar fashion to the grapes, so they're growing upside down. And again, it's just using these little sort of red horn pieces and some more of these light, well, I can't remember what colour the screen is. It's not bright, it's not light, but this sort of more limey green. So we 3-piece leaves. Now the wee chilies now grow up underneath. And then lastly we just have a little bucket there, and that's it. The stock goes on top. Now we've just got quite a few. We'll put the spade in there. And you have just a few spare pieces left over then from the rest of the build. And that is us. So there we have it. So we've built this arcade machine, which is really cool to build, and not just sort of adds to these kind of little sort of minifigure scaling style things. It's actually a little bit smaller than I anticipated. It's probably a little bit too small for the scale that minifigure to be playing, but we'll make it work. And then we have this little market van here with our little bits of produce, our farmer and our customer, and then we've got the little lady in the van, and it's working away. I'll bring the camera down sort of off my stand here and I have a closer look at it. So there we have the arcade machine then. Let me just move these out of the way. And then obviously that wedge is open, and we have all these cool details then inside. And that just looks like a cool place to be hanging out, if I'm not wrong. And that's that. And then we just have the little market van and the little sort of produce growing there. And that's us. So once again, thanks to anyone that's tuned in today. Remember to check out my channel, where you can see sort of all the stuff that we've been building of late, just to give you a wee bit of a sneak preview, or not sneak preview, so we insight into some of the other bits and pieces. And yeah, so make sure to drop us a wee sub anyway, if you want to sort of keep updated with what we're going to be up to in the future. I do have more live builds coming up. I'm going to try and pull out some more interesting sets for future builds. Yeah, but by all means, sort of check in on some of my my other videos and stuff. I do have some playlists as well with the sort of ongoing series. But I'm going to wrap it up here now anyway, because that's almost 2 hours. So thank you very much for anyone who's tuned in, anyone who's stuck through the whole time. Well played. You're a good one. And have a great rest of the day, whether it's evening, night, or morning, or wherever you're at. Have a good one. Take care, guys.